The Fall Classic is all set. It'll be the Detroit Tigers against the San Francisco Giants in the World Series. I'll give you a preview and tell you who I think will win. Hey everybody, it's Paulie. Welcome back to This Week in Red, where we're talking all things Red Sox and Major League Baseball. Congratulations to the San Francisco Giants. The comeback kids in the National League playoffs, 6-0 in elimination games. Down 2-0 to the Reds in a 5-game series in the Division Series, Giants came back and won 3 straight. Down 3-1 to the defending world champion St. Louis Cardinals in the NLCS, Giants come back and win 3 straight, and they'll join the Tigers in the World Series, who have been waiting patiently after their 4-game sweep of the Yankees in the ALCS. And as you look at this series, you got to break it down into the usual 3 areas in comparing the teams, starting with the lineup. And I give the Tigers a decided advantage here as far as runs scored. I think the Tigers will find a way in this series, in at least a couple of these games, to score some runs because of that dynamic duo in the lineup of Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder. And add to that the superior play of Delmon Young in the playoffs. He's been an outstanding postseason player for the Tigers, not just this year, but in years past. And Austin Jackson, who's done a great job at the top of that lineup, and he's really blossomed into the player the Tigers thought they were getting when they traded away Curtis Granderson. So I think the Tigers will find a way to score runs in this series. That could be a problem for the Giants, whose lineup revolves around Buster Posey, who did not have a good series against the Cardinals in the championship series. He's going to have to step his game up, and I'm sure that he will. But guys like Marco Scutaro, the NLCS MVP, Pablo Sandoval, Brandon Belt, Angel Pagan, even Hunter Pence, who picked it up in Game 7, those guys are going to have to continue to hit because the Tiger pitching, as we all know, is very tough, led by Justin Verlander, who's going to get at least 2 starts in this series. But you add to that Doug Fister, Anibal Sanchez, Max Scherzer. All of them were outstanding against the Yankees. I expect that to continue in this series. But the Giants can match it with their starting pitching. You know, Matt Cain and Barry Zito and Madison Bumgarner, those guys are solid pitchers. And Cain definitely is the leader of that staff this year, with Tim Lincecum having an off year. But don't count Lincecum out. He will be a factor in this series in some capacity. And when you match things up, except for Verlander, these rotations are pretty much even on paper. But again, you got to give the Tigers just a little bit of an advantage because Verlander is the all-time ace who is going to pitch out of his mind in this series, I would expect. But where I think this series will be decided is the bullpens. The Giants have a decided advantage here. They were excellent against the Cardinals in this series, particularly in the last 3 games where they had to hold the Cardinals down. The Tiger bullpen, as we all know, is a mess coming off that Yankee series. We don't know if Jim Leyland's going to go back to Jose Valverde as his closer, or if he's going to try and mix and match at the end of these games. It's going to be a very interesting call to see what the Tigers do at the end of these games. The Tigers are going to be hoping that they can become the 2005 White Sox, who, if you remember, when they swept the Astros in that World Series, each of their 4 pitchers in that series pitched a complete game. Now, I don't know if the Tigers are going to be able to get that kind of production, but they certainly have the potential in that starting rotation to at least get to the 8th inning of these games, and then it's going to be a matter of who does Leyland go to in the 9th inning. But because I think the Giants will have that bullpen advantage late in these games, and you figure these games to be tight, I think the Giants have the advantage, and I think they win this thing in 7 games. But how about you guys? Your thoughts and your predictions on World Series 2012. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends about This Week in Red.